GALP.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know anything about this game, never did any real research, but who can say no to a new game in the Neptunia series? I know I can't, even if it's another weird spin-off. Today on GALP, we introduce to you Neptunia Riders VS Dogoos. Now, let's ride into the disclaimer. That was a horrible transition, but here we go. For you new folks, GALP is a weekly gaming discussion podcast under the GALP podcast network. We talk about all sorts of games from big AAA titles all the way to awesome indie games, but our forte is Japanese games, so expect that a lot. We can be found anywhere where you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and now on YouTube. Remember, while you're there, be sure to give us a 5-star review, and remember, if you want to join in on the fun, then follow us on all of our socials. That's including Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and X, all at GALP Podcasts. Okay, like I said, I knew nothing about this game until I got an email from the awesome press team at Reef Entertainment/Idea Factory. And I thought, hell yeah, Reef Entertainment are awesome. And let's go on a little bit of a tangent, all right? Because it's 15 years of the podcast. I have so much love for the team at Reef because those guys are true friends of the podcast, right? Even before other developers and other publishers got in contact with us, Reef has been providing us with review code and press releases for the last 12 years. And in fact, they were the first company to support the podcast by helping us schedule interviews with dev teams for the games that they distribute, as well as giving us code so that we can record episodes on the games that you guys love. And also, we went to their office. That was the first time I had ever gone to any games company or distributor's office before, and it was just such an amazing experience, and I just love those guys. So shout out to Reef Entertainment. Anyway, tangent over. Back onto the game. Initially, I thought it was a racing game, right? With Neptunia characters, but I was mistaken. In true Neptunia fashion, I don't know or truly understand what this game is. And I kind of feel that Idea Factory are pumping out new Nep games every year to make most of their assets and game mechanics so they can get the most of it. And I can't blame them because it's a good business model, because most Neptunia fans will end up buying the game just to support the series. Just by installing this game, I could tell it was another Nep rehash. It's a 3 GB game on the PS5. There is PS2 games that are larger than this. But you know what? The game is absolutely fun and really charming, surprisingly. From the very moment of starting a new game, I was smiling, and I'm smiling as I'm actually recording this now. The use of the 3D cutscenes is incredible. Usually in Nep games, we either see the story told through visual novel elements or live 2D models. And that's great and all, but I just like to see 3D models every once in a while. It's nice. Also, have to mention, voice acting is great. It's amazing. All right, that's one of the things I really love about the Neptunia series. Most, if not all of their games are dubbed in English, especially the spin-offs, which is actually wild to think that they would do something like that, but they do. The majority of the game has an audio track, so I'm not sat there reading subtitles. Sometimes I just want to sit back and relax and just laugh, and the Nep games allow me to do that, and this game is no exception. The game starts off with Uzume Tenoboshi, our main character, driving away from a horde of Dogoos after throwing one on the ground, and somehow there's this massive one that's kind of like a titan, like it's the head of a Dogoo but the body of a titan. Truly the stuff of nightmares. The main point of this game, which actually didn't take me long to figure out, is to drive around on your motorcycle and collect the most Dogoos. I don't really get it, but it's rather enjoyable, driving around, battling characters, stealing their Dogoos, and the like. Sometimes I actually put this game on, listen to a podcast in the background, or listen to some music on Spotify on my PlayStation and just unwind. Like, you don't need to think much about this game while you're playing it. You know, it's kind of like, you know those TikToks, right, where someone is having a podcast clip and then on the split screen, there's like someone chopping up sand or like playing one of those mobile games. This is kind of like what I imagine with this game, right? Imagine this podcast clip side by side with gameplay footage of this game. It works well, and I think maybe there's an opportunity for TikTokers and content creators to use the game for that. Anyway, all jokes aside, I do think that the game is funny and charming, as I mentioned, but it doesn't make much sense to me. With the assets and stuff, why can't Idea Factory make a Neptunia game arcade racer in the vein of Mario Kart or Slope Crashers? This is something I don't understand. understand. They have the assets. Why couldn't they give us like a Nep Mario Kart racing? And they have a lot of characters, by the way, so that would be cool. And have the Dogoo thing as a sort of additional game mode, similar to battle mode in Mario Kart. See, Idea Factory. I'm giving you ideas. I am my own idea factory and I'm giving you some ideas. Please use them. I think it would have been more enjoyable for the fans of the series to race across game industry as characters from various games in the Neptunia series. To be fair with you, when I saw this game, that's what I thought this was going to be. I really hope that this game is a way to gauge interest in a potential Nep racing game, because honestly, that would be awesome. And Idea Factory, please steal my idea. I would love if you guys did that. On a side note, this is sort of an issue I've had with Nep games in recent years. They've pretty much become asset flips, and I think a lot of people kind of agree with me. Having played Neptunia Sister Sister and Neptunia Game Maker Revolution, I was seriously annoyed that they reused moves and assets and kept the horrible quote-unquote action RPG battle mechanic that was so slow and clunky, especially even on the PS5 and on the Xbox Series. What is that about? I would be cool with Idea Factory and Compile Heart reusing assets from a game if they picked half-decent Nep games to use from, like Neptunia Cross Senran Kagura Ninja, known in the West as Senran Kagura Cross Neptunia Ninja Wars. Why did they change the name overseas? I don't know. Okay. I have a lot of problems with that game as well, but that was not necessarily from the Nep characters. It was more so from the Senran characters having their movesets a bit nerfed and changed and things like that. Or if they wanted to go with, you know, an action RPG, Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed was actually a decent hack and slash game. Anyway. Personally, I wasn't a fan of their transition to action RPG, but I really did enjoy the hack and slash style of games, including Ninja, Neptunia U, and Virtual Stars. We did an episode on Virtual Stars actually, and I actually really enjoyed that game. It was really fun. So I know Compile Heart and Idea Factory can make a good game, and I think Compile Heart and Idea Factory should take a good look at what they want the future of this game to be. This game series started the same time as the podcast, around 2010, and we've kind of been with it side by side. So it is a series that kind of means a fair bit to me and to the podcast. 15 years of this series this year. And I think fans are expecting a new mainline title or a remake of older games in the series. Whatever it is, I think that fans can agree on one thing. The series needs to return to turn-based combat rather than real time. The fans are incredibly loyal to the series and passionate, so they would most likely buy anything that Idea Factory presents them solely to support the series. And Idea Factory, please don't take that for granted. We know you guys can do better than a series of sister clones and asset flips. And like I said, I mean, if you guys do want to support Idea Factory, by all means purchase this game. It is somewhat reasonably priced, especially if you are a Nep fan. So you're not really losing that much money on it, but there isn't much substance to it. It is fun, it is charming, but I would have wanted more. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of the Neptunia series, especially this is 15 years of the series. So I'm presuming that Idea Factory are working on something, and these sort of side games are there for us not to forget about the series. But if that's the case, I kind of feel that the Neptunia fans never forget about their beloved series, right? So do we really need these sort of games in the meantime? One can argue yes and some can argue no, but I kind of feel like that's up to you guys to decide. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this incredibly short episode of GALP. We'll see you guys next week where we discuss another game. Bear in mind, there are a few games that we have to review and things like that. This was one of them. Big thanks to Reef Entertainment and to Idea Factory for providing code for this game and for just generally being awesome. And yeah, I don't know what next episode's going to be, but stick around, check our socials, check the link in the descriptions as well. And yeah, see ya.